Um, today August 16, right? So I'm still jogging down my memory because for this guy Malcolm McGinnis, I'm still jogging down my memory of the stuff that this guy said to me while I was at my board meeting. Um, the guy asked me then before he decided to tell me about the MEPs, right? He asked me how this is how I believe what I heard him say to me. He asked me, "How do you buy a job and and how do you buy the job, and then how would I sell the job as far as price wise?" Like I'm like I asked the man. I said, what do you mean by buy a job and sell a job? Like the language that the guy was trying to use is language that I'm unfamiliar with. I don't know anything about buying a job, and I don't know anything about selling a job. You know what I'm saying? So I asked him, like, clarify yourself. Like, so he's like, well, if you was gonna uh get a job, or you're dealing with a customer or something, he's asking me. I still don't understand what he's saying to me, you know, as far as that question he was asking me. I still don't understand nothing about buying a job or how would I sell a job. I don't know anything about that. I don't buy jobs. I don't sell jobs. So my understanding, I asked the guy, I'm like, are you talking about like how would I price a job? Like from like if I need to price a job? And I said, well, if I need to price a job, you know, I would. So I'm trying to talk contract to talk right now. So I'm like, well, I would, look at the blueprint, and I said I would get the price from the architect. But what I really meant to say is I would look at the blueprint and I will see whatever the square footage of the job is, or whatever it is. Then I could have an understanding, of what I'm doing. Then, um, then I told him, I said I would use the RS value with the book. There's this book that um, when I was building my own house and I was going through the process, and they call it the RS means, and it has like where you can look up if you're doing a kitchen for a job, and it's like a kitchen for a two bedroom apartment. Like say you're doing a kitchen for a 800 square feet house, it's a two-bedroom apartment. That price will come up to about, they say the estimated price for that kitchen would be $14,000. So when I went to tell him, I would use the RS means, he's like, oh man, how you can't use that? You can't use that, man, with the way that everything done went up 30%, with the way everything is marked up 30%, you can't use that. You can't. And I'm like saying, I'm sitting here like, that's exactly what the building department is gonna use. They're gonna go by the RS means. They're gonna see how many square foot the job is. They're gonna look and see exactly what the square footage of the job is, and then they're gonna evaluate the job based on that to tell you how much your permit fee gonna be. But everything this guy is discriminated against me for whatever reason it was. This guy, from the time that I sat down and I said that the guy handed me my criminal records, and he handed me that he's like, here's my criminal record, go ahead and read that. From the time that he did that, man, everything is like, I know that the guy had it out for me. I know that he had it out for me. Soon as the first thing he decided to dwell on was my criminal record. And once again, I have not been arrested since 1997. I'm 44 years old. I'm 44 years old, haven't been arrested since 1997. But the guy wants me to read my criminal record. Then he wants to use terminology that I've never heard before. I never heard about buying. How will I buy a job? I never heard about how will I sell a job. I don't know nothing about that kind of lingo, that kind of stuff, the stuff that he talks and he wanted me to talk. I don't talk that. I talk trade talk. As you can see, I'm inside my shop right now. You see this? I'm making doors. I'm cutting wood. My partner, we over here on a table saw. It's I don't know what time it is, 8 or 9 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? It's wood behind me. It's wood dust around me. This is what we doing. We cutting the wood right now. We cutting the wood. We spraying cabinets. This is what I do. This is what I do for a living. Ain't no computers around here. Ain't no computers around here. I don't talk. I don't talk. I'm not into communication. I'm not into management. I don't manage people. Anybody who gonna deal with me, they gotta manage themselves. They can't manage themselves, then I'm not the manager for them. You know what I'm saying? I don't deal with people that I have to babysit and so on and so on. But this video right here is me recollecting my memory on all the stuff that this guy did during this board hearing, that I think that wasn't fair. That he discriminated against me, asking me questions about how do I buy or sell jobs. Where in the book does it say anything about buying and selling jobs? How do I buy and sell a job? What is that? What is buying and selling a job? Like, what am I doing? I'm buying. What does that mean? I don't understand this type of terminology about buying and selling a job. How will I buy a job and then sell the job? I'm like, buying it from who? Selling it to who? Like what? Like, I don't understand that terminology that this guy tried to use on me. But I'm just jogging down my memory and I'm putting it down. So if this thing doesn't go right, so I could go to the right people, to the legal, because as I said, I went to the board and I asked the people on the board, who is in charge if I have a complaint against the board? And they told me basically the people are volunteers. They're volunteers and nobody's in charge of them. Nobody, they do their own thing. Whatever they do to you, it's acceptable because there's nobody on top of them. There's no guidelines. If they're gonna do interviews, there's no type of guidelines that they have to follow, where you can't ask the person this, you can't ask the person that, you can't move the goalpost here, you can't move the goalpost there. My hearing was on the 11th. All of my paperwork was intact. I was supposed to get an answer on the 11th. I shouldn't have to wait till when it's convenient, whenever this guy feel like, you know what, I'm going to just go ahead and decide that I'm going to either pass this guy or I'm going to fail this guy. It shouldn't work like that. I paid my hard-earned money to go to that hearing. I had to pay $200 to go to that hearing. So I don't think that it's fair that this guy should be able to take his time and decide whenever he feel like saying that I pass or not. If you wasn't going to pass me for whatever reason, let me know whatever the reason is so I could go and I could get the earliest start on it, because I've been wasting time. I've been trying to get this thing over with either my license or with my license since March of 2020. I've been dealing with this stuff. My license expired on 8/31/2019. Since March of 2020, I've been getting the runaround for this thing. I'm just jogging down my memory so I can remember everything that's going on. Thank you.